we're bringing you a special edition of the Wrestling Strength Podcast. And we're doing a round table style here, even though we're at a rectangular table. We're going to call it the round table. I got probably what is one of the most powerful families in the world of high school wrestling today. I got the Bassets here with me today. So let's start with the patriarch. We got Bill Bassett over here. Got his youngest one, Keegan Bassett. We got Melvin Miller, and we got Bo Bassett.
Let's go.
All right, so we're going to chop it up a little bit. We just got done grinding in the gym, doing some content, throwing some heavy weight around, pushing some sleds, doing some sledgehammers, all that stuff, pushing the pace, I should say. All right, now, when I think about, Bishop McCort, when I think about the compound in Johnstown, when I think of the Bassett family, I think about just kind of this culture of hard work and fun and family. It's all kind of tied together in the sport of wrestling. So, Bo, I want you to kind of start with that and kind of tell me how important you think that is, how important that's been to your development and the success of just you and the program kind of around you there.
Right, yeah, strength training is everything for us. And when we partnered with Max Effort a while back, for me, my wrestling career changed because I went up a couple of weights. So I was a smaller guy, about 113, right? So when I partnered up, we started lifting, doing their program, and started taking their supplements, right? And really going all in and doing, giving Max Effort. And so, I got a lot bigger, a lot better. I got developed in wrestling. I think it helped me a lot. It helps my team a lot. And, my dad does a great job of helping us out and partnering with Max Effort. So I think it's changed not only my wrestling career, myself, but my whole entire team and my family.
Now, I'm going to switch gears, because I'm a dad coach. I'm a coach first, but now, I'm coaching my kid. Bill, you started coaching your kids at a young age. And I think there's probably dads all over the country that are like looking at you and they're thinking, all right, what's the secret sauce? How did this guy figure it out? Because there's a million dads out there that force their kids to work hard and they achieve some type of level of success, but then the kids get burnt out and you can tell the kids really haven't developed a love for the sport or a love for training. You've kind of found that sweet spot where it looks like you guys are always having fun, always working hard, and doing so in like a really tight-knit group. So kind of run me through, like, what was your vision for these guys early on, and how were you able to make it fun for them that they wanted to work hard?
Yeah, for sure. So I think probably the biggest, catch would be to get them to love it. So that's what I started with, is getting them to love the sport, loving to work hard. And then I just built that internal drive and that work ethic. And it almost seemed, whenever they were younger, we went really hard, and they just don't know any different as far as like they just love it, and they get up, they work hard, and they look at it as just another day. So I think it was one of those things, if you take a 12-year-old that's never really worked hard before and you try to make him work to the level of what these guys do, it would be really hard. But if you start them at a younger age and it just becomes part of what you do and what you do together as a family, I think it's just they love it. They absolutely love it. We do it as a family. Like, I grind with them every day as much as I can. My wife, she grinds, so then what it does is it started in our little family, and then it just kept growing. And now it's the culture of, Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Everybody grinds super hard together and they all love it. So it's one of those things. I think it's a combination of getting them to love it first, surrounding them with the right people. We've surrounded our sons with amazing people. Coach Myers being one of them. I could go on and on. Just the amount of amazing coaches, just mentors that these guys have as wrestlers and as people. And I think just grinding together. I think, it's one thing for a dad to say, I want you to do this, this, and this. And then they go and they sit on a couch. But it's another thing when mom and dad are doing it with them, eating right, lifting hard, training hard daily. So I think that's I would have to say that's the secret sauce.
Yeah, I think that's got to be one of the biggest factors, is like when you build that as part of the culture, it's different than telling someone what to do. When you're showing them, like, this is just how we live our lives, it's a lot easier, and really just becomes natural for kids to want to do that. So Keegan, I'm going to have you, Mel, I'm going to have you pass the mic to Keegan here. Keegan, with you being the youngest guy in the room, obviously, everyone grows up idolizing their older brother, their dad, or whatever. So from an early age, you already saw Bo doing this stuff. How did it just kind of come natural to you to want to follow in his footsteps? Was there ever any idea for you of like, maybe I'll try something different than my brother instead of following what he's doing?
No, yeah. When I was young, I really wanted to be like my brother. I always looked up to him. So when I was like 4, he started wrestling at 6, and I was 4. So I was always looking up to him, watching him wrestle, and just always wanted to be like him, and he really set the standard for me.
Well, I'll tell you what, I grew up around like a lot of different wrestling families and stuff, and usually the younger brother at some point ends up being the toughest one, because they grow up getting beat up by the older brother all those years. And it takes a long time till that catches up. So Keegan, if you could give us a prediction, how old do you think you'll be the first time that you beat Bo in a match? Go on record right now.
Never. No, he probably will.
I don't know, maybe when probably 22, and he'll be 24. I think I'll get him.
22, 24. All right.
Maybe I'll be bigger than him, so yeah, I think I'll get him.
Now, how big were you at his age? Were you bigger than him?
When I was a freshman, I wrestled 113, so he'll wrestle one weight below me. But there was that year then that I took the big jump, so I think that'll be coming for him. But I'm gonna try to stay bigger than him as long as I can. But I think he's probably gonna outgrow me eventually, and then we'll battle. But I hope I never lose to him. But again, I think he is the tougher one, so he might eventually get me. But I don't know. I'm always big brother, so.
Now, Mel, you're still the biggest one in the room, right? Yeah. So what do you feel, especially as Bo's starting to kind of catch you weight wise? We got Keegan over here. We know he's training like a savage, eating a lot, eating his protein. You know what I mean? What do you think that when are the tables going to turn where these guys may even be bigger than you someday?
Since Bo's been getting bigger, and I think when he gets bigger, I think I get bigger. So I don't know when we're gonna stop growing, but I think I'll always be bigger than Bo, and probably way bigger than Keegan. But I'll probably be 15 pounds bigger than Bo my whole life. So we still scrap. I scrap with Keegan sometimes, so it's fun. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is kind of a good question. So I would say most rooms, the average room you go to, there's going to be one superstar, then you have a bunch of kids that are trying to catch up, and then you have kids kind of on the bottom rungs that maybe look up, and they know they're probably never going to be that superstar, but they're looking and they're trying to catch those middle kids. Your guys' room is full of elite kids. All three of you guys are elite at your age level right now. So how do you guys still kind of keep that competitive atmosphere of hey, every one of us is trying to be not just the best in the room, not just the best in Pennsylvania, not just the best in the USA, but maybe even the best in the world. So how do you guys kind of keep that healthy competition where you push each other and want to beat each other, but you're still kind of rooting for the other guy to beat you as well?
Yeah, I think it's all we're all family, so we're all pushing each other to be the best. We're not looking down on each other. If someone accomplishes something they didn't, we're all hyping them up and stuff. There's been some times where Bo and Jax, Bo won the Olympic. Bo won Super 32, and then Jax took third, and Jax was there supporting him, and then
there was no jealousy from Jax.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
And then Jax won the Olympic trials, and Bo won. Took second. Bo was there 5 minutes after his loss. So I think we're all just family, and we all support each other the right way.
Yeah, I'll tell you something I thought was really telling about your character, Bo, is at the U20s, after you lost in the semis, I shot you a message, and just kind of telling you, hey, keep your head up, wrestling for bronze tomorrow, and you immediately messaged me back something like, I love the sport, I can't wait to compete tomorrow, let's go. There was no woe was me, no oh, the ref cheated me, or there was nothing, oh, I'm jet lagged, we're overseas, no excuses, nothing but I love the sport. So maybe tell a little bit about your mindset with competing and how you think that's kind of contributed to your success.
Right. My room, first of all, going back a little bit to that last question, it's like preparing for war every day, going in there. So I make sure I'm taking my pace. I make sure I'm ready to go in my mental frame before I even go into practice, let alone a competition. So it's a battle, it's war every day in practice. And then,
wait a second. So you don't get to the room and sit on Snapchat and gossip? No, you're focused when you get there.
Yeah, you do that, you're in trouble.
I hope all my guys are listening to that.
If you're not ready to go and you're going hard that night, you're in trouble, especially in our room. You got to be on your A game, and there's nights it goes great, and there's nights you might not be, and it might not go as well. So you always got to keep getting better and evolving, especially in a room like that, and I think it easily translates to the mat. And so, you take a tournament like U20s, I was ready to go, and I was ready to wrestle the best guys in the world because I feel like I have one of the best rooms in the world. And, yeah, it wasn't what I wanted at the World Championships. I didn't win the gold medal. I 100% believed I was going to. I went out there for nothing else than gold, and when you lose in the semis to a pretty solid country and a solid guy who's doing a lot of good things, it stinks. You thought you were going to beat him, and you really wanted to wrestle Iran in the finals, but it didn't happen. So for me, it was next best thing. I love this sport. I got 2 more years in the U20 division, and I'm going to be sprinting, and absolutely going to be back there the next 2 years. Excited to hopefully win gold and keep following God's plan for me. But it was exciting to go back and get bronze and win a team title, Team USA, and we're world champions forever. So I'm excited to have that under my belt, and that's something I'll never forget.
Man, this guy's good. Bill, I'm going to swing back to you one more time real quick. And I think I already know the answer to this. I already know what you're going to say. But, you know, with as much stuff as you guys got going on, you're coaching. You own your gym. You know, obviously you're taking these guys on recruiting trips. Plus, we're not even talking about the other athletes that you train that aren't, you know, part of your immediate family. You know, those guys start to become family as well. How do you juggle all that, the business, the coaching, the sports, and the family life, and being a dad, being a husband, all that? What do you think the key is there?
Just I'd say a lack of sleep. Have an amazing wife that's, you know, supportive of all that. But no, honestly, I mean, these guys are amazing. They actually, they're inspiration to me, all of them. You know, just not my 3 boys, but the whole entire group. I mean, they motivate me. So if they're willing to work as hard as they do, I'm willing to do whatever it takes for them. So you know, we have a little thing like in our family, like I'll give you 110%, but I expect it back, you know? So you give me 110 every day, I'm going to give you everything that I got. You know, that's my time, my money, my effort, everything. So, you know, and back to what you were saying, you know, just with all the other kids, I mean, we're very blessed. Like you know, trust me, there's a lot of, anytime you have a good group of, you know, a good program or a good group of kids, there's so many coaches, and we have an amazing group of coaches. You know, I could go on for the next 10 minutes, just the amount of people that pour their heart and soul into these guys. So, like, it's definitely not just me. You know, I'm definitely there for all the workouts and stuff. But, man, I'm very blessed with a whole great coaching staff. So,
I'll tell you what, this guy's pretty good on the mic, too. I think next time you guys come in, Bill, me and you are going to sit down and just kind of do a one-on-one podcast about being a dad and being a coach, do like kind of a long form. And I think it could be really impactful.
I'm all in.
So one last question, and I'm going to let all 3 of you guys answer this. Bo, I'm going to start with you. Now I know that a lot of young kids in the sport are really looking up to you. They're idolizing Bill Bassett, you know. I think I told you Jack missed a birthday party earlier because he said, well, Bill Bassett only comes to our gym once a year. I got to make sure I'm there, you know. So even, you know, my boy, watching him, you know, the way he looks up to you. So if you could give any advice, one piece of advice to a young wrestler, what is it?
I could go a lot of different ways. I think there's a lot of good things, but if I was to tell myself something when I was that age or when I was younger, just getting into the sport, I think for me it would be, I mean, faith is a really big part of my life. So I would even go there. I think realizing my faith and realizing the power of God in my life is huge. And then I think of something like mindset for me, I think because mindset is so important, would be to be confident. Be confident. Never ever, you know, not believe that you can go out there and win. And I think it's something to believe I can win, but believe I can dominate and score points and have fun while doing it. And that's something that I've always really tried to do, especially now at an older age, is really enjoy it and be confident every single time I go out on the mat. Doesn't matter who's across the mat. I know with my faith, I know with my training, my coaches, everybody around me, I'm capable of winning and capable of scoring points and dominating. And I truly believe that. And if you don't, you're not gonna do the things that you could, you know. And I think that the only thing that holds you back is yourself a lot of times. So for me, it's be confident and perform.
Yeah, if you don't believe that you can win, you're probably not going to.
Right.
It's really that
Exactly.
simple, you know.
100%.
All right, Mel, what do you think? What's some advice you would give to young wrestlers out there?
I think one thing is listening to your parents. I mean, when you're younger, you think you know more and you know better than them, but when you get older, you start to realize.
Like, oh, they were telling me that for a reason. Like, they really have my best interest at heart.
When I was younger, I always thought I knew everything, but when I go older, I know that they're always right. And I mean, you gotta love the sport. And I mean, if you don't love it, you're not gonna be as successful as you can be.
Yeah, that's good. Keegan, what do you think? I know you're you're a high school wrestler now too, so I can't even really call you a young wrestler anymore. It's gonna be your first year of high school. But thinking back to like when you were, it was only a few years ago, you were in the, in the youth league. So think back to then, like what would you give, kids that are in, 4th, 5th, 6th grade that are like kind of getting towards the end of their youth career? What's some advice you would give them?
Yeah, I think maybe just like win the day. If you start winning each day, stacking days on top, you'll get a lot better. So just keep winning days, getting better every day, just 1% better every day, and you'll get a lot better.
Oh, I like that. Stack those days up there and win it one day at a time. That was a good one. All right, Bill, I gotta let you go. Give me
Yeah, I would say consistency. Consistency over time is everything, and that's something that a lot of people, even adults, don't understand is how important just the little things, they add up. And we always talk about, it don't even have to be 100%. It's like small deposits every day. You may only get one workout in, and maybe it's a small deposit. Some days you're going all in and you're doing 3-4 workouts, you're putting 100% in the bank, right? But every day you got to be making them small deposits. And then over time, you're building a really big account, right? You look at, bank accounts, right? If you're putting small deposits in every day, or putting maybe some big deposits at the end of the year, at the end of the season, whatever, you have a lot of stuff to pull from. And whenever you do those biggest matches, you have a lot of sweat equity built in. So that's what I would say, consistency.
Hey, I appreciate you guys taking the time to sit down with me today. I know it's been a busy weekend for you guys here in Columbus, but I think we got some really good stuff, and some of those sound bites are going to be really impactful.
Let's go.
All right.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Boom.